Good morning and welcome back to Family Law Assistance. My name is Michaela Wade and I'm the co-founder of Family Law Assistance. We help you represent yourselves, getting you the results without you having to plan that second bank heist. I am joined today with the amazing Sally Brown. And today we're going to be talking about how not to fuck up your case. Okay, both me and Sally have literally been there, done it now, and got the court order, not got the court order. If it can go wrong, me and Sally have absolutely been there to see sometimes the car crash. So part of what we want to chat about today is to make sure that you guys, if you're going through family law hell, we want to make sure that you are doing the best you can to get the result that you want. I'm going to kick out off straight out of the gate, Sally. Let's talk about family members. Family members coming to court.
Yes. So I would say family members and maybe new partners, that realm. Yeah. And what I would say is that the intention to support may well be something that is intended to be really helpful and supportive to the client. But more often than not, this is a hindrance and this is unhelpful. It can pour petrol on the fire. It can make things a lot worse, and it's not really advisable. Yes, of course, they're passionate about that. You know, this person gets what is justly right and what they deserve, but it's that emotive behaviour that that doesn't really help when you're in a court of law. I think one of my experiences was, so my client had brought her partner with her, a new partner with her. And I mean, before we even got into the consultation room in the court, we had to go through security. And this guy started a row with security because he wouldn't take his pills and paper money out of his pockets. I don't really know why that was reason to start an argument. But anyway, so that to me was a massive red flag from the off. And then there's this sort of talking with them and they're sort of saying, oh, these are awful things and these horrible things and getting everyone wound up, you know, and it's not helpful. You need to be balanced. You need to be calm and think about things logically.
I totally agree.
Arena.
I totally agree. I could just see a comment from Linda. Hi, Linda. She says, yes, the pull to attend is great. Attention is needed on the day. No distractions. Absolutely. And here's the thing, right? You know, you are right, Sally, because people are passionate, especially family members, partners, husbands, spouses. And absolutely, I've just seen another comment. So Claire, hi Claire, can't under Kill Bill poster in the background. Agree, it could be Stoneman. Brilliant poster, right? You know what, Claire? That's one of the first things I noticed about Sally. It's like, that is such a cool poster. Yeah, Claire meant I can't unsee the Kill Bill poster in the background. I know, it's brilliant. But family members, you know, the number of times I've literally kicked family members out because they can't. It's so emotive to them. It's their grandchildren very often. It's their partners or wives or the spouses going through this. And I have literally kicked out people who have been in my consultation room. I say it's my consultation room because, you know, as you know, Sally, you're the boss in there. And that helps alleviate your client's anxiety. So very often they can be much more of a hindrance than a help. And like I said, I've kicked my fair share of people out of consultation rooms and kicked them out of courts, buildings, etc. And even my own clients, like people that I've come with me and they've been kicking off, or they've not come up in the right. God, I sound like a right dragon. I'm not. I'm lovely, but don't bother. Don't come with me if you're going to turn up in flipping athleisure wear. But that's a side rant, okay? So most of our clients are tired for court. So the other thing I sort of wanted to really check off is that thing about being honest. I don't know if I always say this, but that film, Jerry Maguire, help me help you, help me help you. Sally, Like, just say, what's the value of being honest with us?
Well, if you're going into a situation like that, which is very serious, you know, let's remember that this is sort of affecting people's lives. Don't withhold information from people who are trying to help you and trying to get as much of a clear picture to present to the court as possible. And I think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if things change, or if you've changed your mind, or if you think it's silly. It doesn't matter. You need to just be honest and communicate everything as clearly as possible, so we can work with that and turn it into hopefully to something positive.
I remember one of my old clients, I remember rocking up to court, and I remember they hadn't disclosed to me that they'd been done for dealing Class A drugs. And they hadn't told me because they thought it was quote unquote not relevant. And you're fighting to see your child. In what universe is that not relevant?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
If I knew about that beforehand, I could have done something about that. I could have worked with that. But having the total lack of information, it's frustrating. It's frustrating for clients in the end, isn't it, Sally? And frustrating for us.
Well, yeah, that's it. And that's the upshot of it. It's not going to, anything like that's withheld. I mean, the example that I had was the paperwork that I had in front of me wasn't what the paperwork that the magistrate and the other side had in front of them, because my client had decided to go off on their own merry way and fill in the application at the court, to the court, in the cafe, handwritten, without taking a copy of it. So it's like it's gone off into the ether, this thing that they're looking at, that they're, you know, this is your, and it wasn't filled in properly. It wasn't right. There was gaps missing. And, you know, to be fair to the magistrate, they did offer my client the opportunity to give further evidence because their application was such a shit show, which they didn't have to do. Normally, something like that, it's here's the information, make a decision, yes, no. But they allowed them that, you know, that opportunity to give additional information, and that even didn't transpire into anything that was of use. So, yeah, that was frustrating, really frustrating for me. And for them, because they didn't get the result that they wanted.
Right, I know. And because we care so much, I don't know about you, Sally, I'm pretty sure you feel the same, but like for me, I care so passionately about making sure that people get the results that they want / need, that I take it as a personal affront when things do go wrong. And even though you sit back logically and think, there was nothing else I could have done, I didn't have all the information, they weren't honest with me, they didn't communicate with me, I was literally walking in blindfolded. On a feels point of view, because we care so much, you just sit back and think, where did I go wrong?
Well, yeah, that's natural. That's human nature to, you know, the automatic default is always, well, certainly as far as I'm concerned, 100% my fault. And it's not, but, you know, maybe that's some feels I need to work on.
No, I totally get it. And I think me and you, Sally, are perfectionists. You know, I'm always really hard on myself because I care so much. You know, we wouldn't feel like we did if we didn't care. You know, it would just be like, nah. But we do. But passionately is why we do what we do. All right. So part of the other thing I wanted to talk about, how not to arse up your case, is I say this, if I've said this once, I am literally the definition of a broken record by now. But the magic is in the prep. Sally, what do you reckon needs to be prepared in most cases?
Well, position statements are, perfect, ideal, witness statements. All of this stuff, though, needs to be worked with us and the client. I think the problem comes into it when, as I said before, when a client may go off on their own and do their own thing, thinking that maybe they've gone on social media and sought advice off Ask Karen. I don't know, but it's going to go really badly wrong for you if you do that. Bring it to us. Let's talk it through and make sure that we can do it as succinct with all of the evidence, taking out that emotive language. And also, magic in the prep is the pre-negotiation, all of the things that happen outside of the courtroom with the other side, if you wanted to elaborate on that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So funny enough, we had a team meeting yesterday, and part of what we were talking about was we're live yesterday and with the team. And one of the things I said was, what was the favorite part of the job? And for me, my favorite part of the job is that negotiating, and I don't care whether the other side have a really hostile or aggressive barrister. For me, that haggling, effectively, that's what it is. I mean, I grew up haggling. I grew up watching my father haggle, watching my mother haggle. So, that negotiating for me is nothing more really than haggling and the skills that go into that pre-court negotiation. But, Hollywood, I think, has got a lot to answer for. There's no gavels. So if any of you are watching, okay, Britain never had a gavel, okay?
I didn't even know that.
Right?
Brainwashed by Hollywood. See?
Exactly, yeah. People talk about child custody issues, okay, which, by the way, it's an American term. It's not a British term. But when people talk about child custody, did you ever watch that film, Sally, Kramer versus Kramer?
Oh, I love that film. Dustin Hoffman.
I know. Just gets me every time. But family court's nothing like Kramer versus Kramer. So if that's what you're basing it on, there's nobody in a gown and a wig. They may be in a criminal court, but that's very different. But this is much more. This is different. This is a horse of a different color. I often think that if we did a documentary or a film about what our lives, Sally, would be like in family court, we'd be sitting around in a shit consultation room drinking shit coffee from a vending machine, for hours. It'd be the dullest documentary ever.
Yeah.
I also want to go on.
No, I was just going to say it'd probably be sort of like high art. It'd be that boring.
I like that. I really like that. We talk about the school of Ask Karen, which, listen, people who are desperate, I understand there's loads of groups out there. We're very prominent on social media, so it's very easy, I think, to go on social media. We've all done it at some point, my life's shit. And you sort of hammer something out on the keyboard, and then you get your posse and your crew, or sometimes you might join a Facebook group that's specifically for the struggles and plights that you're going through. By the way, guys, we as family law citizens tend not to go into those groups because experience tells me that people don't often want a solution in those groups. They just want to whinge, and we're all about solution focus. But you've seen it, haven't you, Sally? People who, the school of what one reckons.
Yeah, opinions are like arseholes, aren't they? Everyone's got one.
I love that.
But yeah, I think again it goes back to that pouring petrol on the fire. It's everyone's winding each other up, and with something, you can be the most reasonable person in the world, but when it comes to your children, all bets are off. And I think that if you go into those arenas like that, with the Karens, etc. Sorry, poor Karen.
I know.
I think that it's not going to help. It's just going to make you more upset. And being more upset is not going to get you what you need or what you want. Right,
because I hate to demean this to such a level, but when you're in family court, it is like a game of chess. They move, you move, they move, you move, and you're never going to win in one move. And as a game of chess, you need to be strategic, you need to be level-headed and cool-headed, which is totally ironic because the thing that you're in court for is the most emotive. You're not going to get anything more emotive than your life, your children, whether you're going to get a fair outcome. So asking you to be, look, just take the emotion out of it. It's very easy for us to sit here and say, but you certainly don't need petrol pouring on the fire. So I think to sum up, get us to do the paperwork, get us to do as much as possible, because we are your sanity check. Had we done the paperwork for the clients that have not helped themselves, I put it in that way.
Yeah.
Like in your instance, Sally, how different would that outcome have been?
It would have been completely different because, well, I think for a start, I would have gotten to the nub of the, should this really go to court? Right. And not waste everyone's time. Or, you know, yes, it should go to court, and here's how we need to write it, and here's the evidence that you need to provide in order to support that. So when the judge looks at it before the court case, before we get in the room, they've pretty much decided there and then. We know the three outcomes of accept, have an undertaking, or contest it. We would have known all of that. We could have done some pre-negotiation with the other side, and the other side in this case, who, you know, were absolutely right in thinking that this shouldn't have even gone near a court. Anyway, so that's what should have happened.
yeah, absolutely. In some of my experiences, I've learned that sometimes the time, money, and effort, nobody wants to be in court. Fact. So the less time people spend in court, like, win.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. And when you think about the amount of time you spend out of court is so minimal compared to what you spend in it, you want to make sure that you've kind of got your ducks in a row. And if you haven't got your ducks in a row, and there's also that certain element, isn't it, Sally, of us being a sanity check.
Yes.
Your Karens and your family members aren't going to do that for you, are they?
No, they're not. They're not going to refocus you into what you need to be doing. And like you said before, the game of chess, it's not going to be instant gratification here. It's, you know, you may have to compromise. You may have to take a different approach. You may have to think about things differently. And that's what we're here for, to advise and help you and coach you with that.
Totally great. So guys, if you are going through family health, it doesn't matter who you've got by your side. Obviously, I'm going to say we're the best because obviously we are. But if we're having us by your side, it doesn't matter who you have by your side, make sure that you are organized, communicate, and are honest. And if possible, perhaps leave your family members at home. Sally, anything else to add?
I don't think so, but I think we've covered everything. But yeah, I'd just say that it might save you a lot of pain and heartache and money in the long run if you do things the way that we suggest.
Couldn't put it more. Guys, if you need Sally's help, we'll put her deets down below, okay, and a link to her page, okay. As you can see, you need somebody that's cool, calm, collected, and who gets it, okay. And Sally absolutely gets it. So I'll put her deets down below. Guys, any more questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you for those that have commented already. Claire, have to go, but really valuable. Thank you. Oh, amazing. I'm so glad, Claire, you found that useful. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll check you later.
Bye.